Hi, Tau Epsilon Phi. This is Jason Burler, the president of the TEP Foundation, coming to you to tell you about our new series called the TEP Founders Series. This new podcast, being hosted by the TEP Foundation, encapsulates the stories of either founders or refounding fathers of their chapter. This new series serves to continue the charitable purpose of our nonprofit by preserving and advancing Tau Epsilon Phi history. This new podcast was recorded in the summer of 2024 and is being hosted by our guest, Trustee, Brother Stanley Silverman, Tau Omega 73. We hope you watch all the episodes to learn valuable insights into your chapter's founding or refounding. If you are or know of any founders or refounders, please send an email to president@thetepfoundation.org. We want to capture your chapter's history. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you learn a lot.
Welcome to the Founders Podcast, the podcast where we interview founders and refounders of TEP chapters. I'm Stan Silverman, Tau Omega 402. University of Rhode Island, class of 79. And I'm here with Barry Grant, Delta Tau 06, class of 66, from the Delta Tau chapter at Wayne State University. So, without further ado, here we go. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Did you start your chapter? I'm sorry, first of all, what school are you at?
Well, let me give you a background to that, okay?
Thank you.
It's complicated, all right?
Okay.
I graduated from high school in January of 1962. I went to a junior college for about a year, okay? Our chapter, the chapter that I joined, at the time I joined it, was a local fraternity. It was not a TEP chapter. However, when I was pledging, it was announced that they were going to be applying to national fraternities to get recognition. By the time this was in the winter of 62, and to make the long story short, we did get accepted to become a TEP chapter sometime in the summer of 1962, I believe. I don't know if you found anything out when I, had asked you the question, but whatever it is, it is. Now, here's the thing. It might be a little bit different than what you went through. The chapter I joined in Detroit was made up of a few guys from all the smaller schools in the city. So we had about 20, 25 guys coming from 5 or 6 schools. Okay.
Colleges.
Colleges, that's right. Or junior colleges.
Okay.
And we all went on, well, most of us went on to, after a year or so, to get into a 4-year school, which is what I did. Okay. So we had about 20 or 25 guys. I believe we were inducted into TEPs in the summer of 1962. I'm not sure of that, but that would make sense to me. This is like 60 years ago. So, bear with me, almost as old as you. When I left the junior college, I went to Wayne State University, which is a well-known university in the Detroit area. At that time, Wayne State had their own TEP chapter. So I went to Wayne State and I stayed in my chapter that was, the Renegade chapter, okay? And the Wayne State chapter stayed the same. And there were two TEP chapters within Detroit. And as months went by, or even 1 year or 2 years, everybody got out of their junior college situation and they moved up to another school. But we stayed independent on our own. And there were 2 chapters, two TEP chapters because of that. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay. So I was not in the Wayne chapter. I was in the original chapter that I pledged. Okay.
Got it.
That's it. And the history of that chapter, we were we were terrific. We had a great group of guys, because when we joined the fraternity, we finally had a social life, okay? And we learned how to put parties on, okay? That we used to invite the Detroit police to the parties, okay, which was one of the smarter ideas that collectively we had. We had great parties, we had great guys, we had competition in sports with the Wayne chapter. At the beginning they didn't like us so much because we probably caused some confusion in the city, okay, with the most of us were dating Jewish girls, okay, and well, which it took a while for everybody to understand that there were two chapters. But we had a great time, and I made lifelong friends, okay, that I'm friends with today. I'm 80 years old. I'll be 81 in December. So that's kind of what happened. I graduated in 66. Took me an extra year because I worked all through college and I put myself through college, but it doesn't matter. I got it. Okay, I did it, and so forth. So I know I'm looking at your questions, and it's not like we were a TEP chapter when we began. The chapter was very strong. Okay, our parties sold out. Basically sold out. Couldn't let more people in the house. The fire chief wouldn't allow more people in the house. We had great athletes, and we could play football and baseball, softball. You told me you play softball.
Yeah, we won the championship.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Softball was a popular sport with men back in the 60s. Now it's more popular with women. It's still my favorite sport. Things went on, and every month, every year, there was a shift from the junior college or the starter college to Wayne, or in Michigan, guys would go to Michigan, or they would go to Michigan State, or they would go to Oakland University. Those are all, it was very fluid. It was very fluid. Nobody stayed in the junior college for 4 years. So that gives you the background. It was very fluid. We weren't all together. We had a house. I think one or two guys lived in the house. They couldn't get along with their parents in the city. And I lived at home, which was about 20 miles from school. And we had great times. Nice, good, healthy times, except for a couple of things. Okay. For example, when I went through my Hell Night.
Yes.
That was a real rude awakening to me, okay? As I kept saying to myself, what does this teach me to be a better person and to be a good brother? It teaches me to be a prick, okay?
Yes.
You can edit that. So when I became chancellor, I outlawed Hell Night.
Good for you.
I outlawed it whenever it was I became chancellor. 1963 or 1964 or 1962, who knows? I can't remember. But every one of the chancellors beforehand were from my pledge class, and afterwards were friends of mine, including my best man when I got married. I think he might have followed me as chancellor, and then or the second following, and we had great relationships, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So as we kind of like filtered out in 66, 67, okay, onto our careers, a new group started to, take over, come in and take over. And within a couple of years, they had destroyed everything that we had set up. It was the kind of like the beginning of the drug age, okay? Marijuana, okay. We missed it, okay. I missed the sexual revolution by about 5 or 6 years. I missed the drug revolution by 1 or 2 years. All right. So I was on my way working in an accounting firm, trying to, establish myself and my career. But by the time these young kids took over, it didn't take long for the chapter to fall apart. Okay. There was nobody that was a leader. And it never did get reestablished. Never did, because remember, it was it was a collection of young men in different junior colleges in the city. Okay, that's how we started out. And if you went to Wayne State, you went to the Wayne State chapter.
Right.
Okay? So we had a great run. Okay, 98% for 5 years and 2% for 50. Okay, that's what happened. So I'll say that, ask me what questions you want. I'll tell you no lies. Okay, and whatever you'd like to know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, okay, so first of all, what was the difference in it being a local versus being a TEP chapter?
Oh, you mean once we became a TEP chapter, which was maybe within 3 to 5 months, 3 to 4 months of me being inducted into the local chapter, we just had more credibility. Okay. Social lives were better. Okay. I mean, not that it mattered too much, but when we announced a party or we announced we were playing a game or whatever we were doing, we didn't have to qualify it all the time. We didn't have to qualify who we were and so forth. So it worked fine. It worked, it worked fine for those times. And really the guy, I'm pin number 6. Okay.
Okay.
And I was at the induction into TEP. Okay. The chapter. It was quite interesting. Don't remember many details, but I remember it was interesting. So
was Sidney Sontag there?
Yep, he didn't. I don't remember if he came. Okay, I don't remember. He might have come or he sent somebody. I did go to the convention in 1965 in Atlanta. Okay, I don't know if have you ever been to a TEP convention?
No, I've not.
Oh, well, as an undergrad, it was amazing. 5 of us piled into 2 cars, drove down from Michigan to Atlanta, went to the convention from Wednesday night through Sunday, then drove to Florida for a week. Okay, and then drove back. It was amazing is that there were about 350, 360 fraternity brothers there. And every one of us had a different date for Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. Now, as things go, most of the guys did not wind up going with their pre-assigned date for Saturday night because all the shuffling started to take place and trades were made.
Excuse me.
Okay. So
you were almost in that sexual revolution. You were right on the edge.
Not enough. Okay. not enough. Not enough. It's fine. I've had a good life. So I'm not, but we joke about it. Okay. So, that's what I wanted to tell you, but there was no really chance for us to reinstitute the chapter. Okay. Because it didn't have a foundation to start from. We had a foundation. We collectively came from different schools, had a lot in common because of that. And that's how I think we succeeded. And we liked each other very much from the time we pledged. We liked each other very much.
So you were in the local, did you initiate the local or was it already in existence?
It was already in existence. They had a strong group. 15, 20 guys. And our pledge class was about 5 to 10 guys, which for that was pretty good. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. And I want, social life was not great where I was, and I needed it to meet some more people and meet some more ladies. Okay. Just to have fun, have something to do. I wasn't interested in marriage at the time or anything, but it gets kind of like dull when you don't have a date on Saturday night for four Saturdays in a row. So
sure.
Yeah. So that's what we did. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I do want to tell you that when your email came out asking about doing this, I did, I don't know if you recall seeing the response that I sent in, okay?
Yes.
Was that myself and Larry Millman, who pledged, I think, 6 months after me, or 1 year. Larry Millman and I worked together and were partners in two firms for 50 years. I've always said this, everybody was always amazed that where do two men stay together that long if they're not brothers in a family business?
Mm-hmm.
And he and I just had the best combination. We were at a first firm for 18 years, and we both were partners. And then we decided to form our own firm in 1984, and we formed our own firm. It's still going. It's got 25 or 30 people. It's not huge, but it's nothing to sneeze at. And but we were together. We never had a fight. We never had an argument. We disagreed, but we never had a major problem, and we were very successful. Okay, and I just wanted to emphasize that the greatest blessing that I probably got was meeting Larry and having a great friend for all these years. And to top that off, I had a coworker and a partner in our business for all these times. Okay, so it's really a great story.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really a great story. So I wanted to emphasize that with you. I don't know if you
Okay.
if you do a report or anything like that, but it's rare. It's rare that two guys, men, okay. I guess it's rare with women too, all right. But that they're together that long. We did really good. We did
That's
really
quite an
good.
achievement.
I think so. Yeah, he's still working. He's
Okay.
he's 80 years old. I got out 8 years ago.
So,
So
all right. Well, I'm going to ask you what you're doing now, but so when you decided to go from a local to TEP, what kind of contributions did you get from the national to help you do this change?
I don't recall specifically, but they did give us advice and counseling on what to do, and certain requirements that they expected of us. And the and we had a structure that we could adhere to. There was a charter
Mm-hmm.
that says certain things, okay, and we all had to obey the charter, okay, and do those things. And if there were questions or anything that came up, we had people to call, okay, with that, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And look, we're all 18 to 21, 22 years old. What do we know? other than we
Right.
other than we think we know everything. We didn't know we didn't know anything. Okay, so that was very helpful, and I think I don't know how. I think that as the individual chapter would have lasted as long, but we would have been kind of off the side. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the structure to follow. Okay, and we learned more. There were 5 of us who went to the convention in '65. We learned more there, and then a friend of mine, my best man, as a matter of fact, who I am still friends with. When he graduated, he was on the Grand Council.
Who's
Okay,
that?
his name is Jerry Lewis.
Okay.
And he went to a number of council meetings. Okay, and I think he's got he's got our album, which I haven't seen in 40 years, and but he would show it to me. He's not withholding it, but he went and he kept us posted on what they were saying. But I think when our chapter broke up and they couldn't attract anybody else because they had a bad reputation, um, uh, I think he was on the Grand Council. You could probably check it for a few years, and that was it. He was very
Okay.
interested. He was a chancellor. Okay,
Okay.
okay, and Larry Millman was not a chancellor. He was a treasurer. And as long as I've known him, he's been the treasurer in every organization he's ever been with. Okay, it's it's a good comfort zone for Larry, and so that kind of tells you, about that. I know We did go to some meetings at the convention. It was interesting. Okay. Sidney Sontag was there, and he, unfortunately, when I got back to the hotel on that last night, that Sunday morning, about 6:15 in the morning, he's he's sitting in the freaking lobby.
Excuse me.
Like,
Sounds like Casey Stengel waiting for the
yeah,
Yankees to pull in.
yeah, yeah. Good morning, Sid. So that was that. But we didn't really have much chance to rejuvenate the chapter. It was gone. It went to hell in a handbasket real quick
I'm
with it.
sorry.
Yeah. Right. No, it would have been nice if I could have still say, go to something like through the years, go to any other events. Okay, it would have been nice. But it just didn't work that way.
So I'm assuming that the house that you were talking about was a rental house
Yes.
for somebody going to school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in Detroit, in the center in like what's called Midtown. And but we used it mostly for parties and fraternity meetings and things like it was a place to congregate for the everybody. You could go down anytime, any night, any day, or any night. Everybody had a key. Okay.
Okay.
So there wasn't much security because the keys get lost from 20-year-olds. Okay, but that's what we did. It's like I say, it's too bad that the chapter couldn't be rejuvenated, but I think I understand the reason is that it's not at once the members were not at one school, and once that run ended, that was the end of that chapter. Okay,
That's too bad.
but
Why did you join TEP? Could you have, I'm assuming that at least a number of you were Jewish, so you could have
yes,
gone to ZBT. My father was a Kappa Nu in the 50s or 40s,
I mean,
but
why?
or AE Pi, or why did you go with TEP?
I think I think I didn't have anything to do with it. I had just joined, and other fraternity brothers were working on this for a long time. Okay, and made a recommendation. So I don't know what went into that decision process, and
Okay.
whether we got any other offers or not. I really don't see those fellows anymore. I'm seeing most of the people if I see anybody, I pledged with them either when I pledged or within a year after. So I don't know. I don't think anybody was disappointed with going with TEP. Okay, I really don't. Okay, it worked out fine. I don't even know if we got offers from the others. Okay,
Okay.
all right. So, it didn't realize it was such a short-term thing, but it could have been a long-term thing if certain society things had remained the same. Yeah.
What was it like being the chancellor?
Um, that was my first president job. I've had a few since, but um, it was um, it was good training for me. It was good training for me, and I I think we did real well, handle things, and and we were all very funny. Okay, everybody had a great sense of humor. So I think I was also glad when that year was over.
It's a lot of work.
It is. It is. It is. And every time you become president of something, it's a lot of work. Okay.
Sure.
A lot of work. So it was just a good group. You wanted to do well and you wanted to succeed and have everybody be happy. Okay. And so we didn't have a big social committee budget. Somebody once said at a fraternity meeting, what kind of social organization are we? We got a $50 a year budget for the social committee. None of us had any money, but I think we agreed to up the ante a little bit. Okay. But I'll tell you, we had 200-300 people at our parties. Okay. Really. And the police would walk in, and I think the police like coming by because they like the girls. They like to look at the girls too. The girls were cute, all right? And it was a fun thing to see young people having so much fun. We didn't break any laws at these parties. Okay. If you were, I don't think there were no drugs at all at that time. Okay. Now, if somebody had some booze in the car, I couldn't do anything about it, but we didn't serve booze unless, I don't think we did. I don't think we did. It was always BYO. Okay. BYO.
Well, drinking age was 18 then.
It might have been. I thought it was, I don't know. I thought it was really 21 in Michigan.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. I remember I celebrated my 21st birthday at a bar in Detroit where I've been going to for a year or two. The band
with a fake ID.
Yeah, right. And the man announced that. Right. Right. So I'm looking at your questions, and I'm retired in 2016. I'm keeping busy with some activities that I do. I'm president of the HOA where I live. Okay. All right. And previously I was president of a large charitable organization in Detroit at had about $1.7 million budget.
Wow.
And we would collect about $1 million. Yeah, we'd collect what our budget was. And it's over 100 years old. It's called the Detroit Goodfellows, and we would raise money to provide for, when I was president, 40,000 gift packages of Christmas gifts to children in Michigan who needed pajamas, socks, sweatshirts, books, toys, those kinds of things. And the reason I joined that was that I was a beneficiary of that program when I was 9 and 10 years old. Okay, because my father was very sick. He died when I was 12. He was 50. And one day when I was 9 years old, there was a knock on the door, and there were 2 Detroit policemen there with a box for me. And it was a Christmas gift from the Detroit Goodfellows. And my mother says, "This is a Hanukkah gift from the Detroit Goodfellows for you." And so I never forgot that image. And I joined the organization in 72, and I became president in 2004.
It's nice of you to give back like that.
That's what I felt I wanted to do. Yeah. And there are other Jewish members in the organization who were recipients of that program. So I've done that stuff, and I keep busy. I've had some health issues the last year, so I'm keeping busy with that. I never knew there were so many doctors for every little but I do that, and I get out for lunch, and we go to Florida for the winter. I didn't go last year because I had to stay home because of my health issues. I had things that required me to be around the doctors. But we're going to go this year. We're going to go for 4.5 months.
Where do you go?
We go to Bonita Springs, which is just north of Naples.
West Coast.
West Coast, yeah.
Okay.
It just got hit again with another. Yeah. I'm in a building. There's 25 floors. There's water in the lobby. There's water in the garages. We were going to go down in 10 days. We're not going now because they don't want anybody down because they're disinfecting everything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want anybody there. So it happens. Okay. It happens. I don't have to do the work to clean it up. They hire people. So I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But Detroit has had a complete resurgence in the last 10, 12 years. It's just totally redone. Really.
I was going to ask you about that. So it became a very, there was a lot of urban blight in Detroit. It's coming back from that?
There still is.
Okay.
But they're building up area. The downtown area has been completely redone. It's amazing. A friend of mine went with his wife to have dinner downtown, and they got a hotel room. And he said to stay over. They didn't want to drive back to their house late at night. So he said that there wasn't a hotel room to be had. This was not on a football weekend or or anything like that. People are coming in and staying in Detroit. So it's really very nice. It's really very nice.
That's great.
Right.
I mean, you really made a bold step in getting rid of the Hell Knight, because you're right. What are you teaching? Why are you debasing these people? What are you getting out of this? What are they getting out of this?
Exactly.
It's just sadism.
It was so disgusting to me. Okay. I said if I ever had a chance to do something about it, I would. Okay. And unfortunately, I heard that after we graduated and we're out, the druggies, okay, they might have put it back in, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Good for you.
So that's it. And,
All right.
that was bad back in 63 or 4. Okay. Back then. Nothing accomplished by that. Terrible, terrible. Now, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you know that I want to show, I turned 80 in the last year, and my kids threw me a party and they made this shirt up, okay?
Happy birthday. Go a little higher. Papa Bear.
I'm known as Papa Bear to my grandchildren because my nickname is Bear, okay?
Okay.
But do you see me in there with somebody else?
A little lower. Yes, but I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
The guy on the left. He's a TEP from Maryland.
It's not the talk show guy, is it?
No, it's Larry David.
Oh, go a little lower.
Here, you want that?
Lower. No, the other opposite way. More. Stop. Okay, I see it.
I get stopped often asking me if I'm related to him. Okay. I said, yes, we're brothers. I said, my name is, I start to pull their leg. I'm Barry David. I'm his brother. Oh my God, they say. Oh, I said, I'm just kidding. He's not my blood brother, but he is my fraternity brother, and he's a
That's
TEP.
right.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
I get stopped from time to time that said, people often say you have a resemblance to somebody, don't you know? I said, I already know who you're talking about. It's been going on for a long time. So anyway, I didn't know. Did you know that Larry David? You know who Larry David is?
Of course I do. I pulled a Larry David once.
Right. So actually, so to sum it up, our chapter had a sprint of success for about 5 years, and then everybody had a hamstring injury and it fell apart. Okay. But we were going full blast for 5 years and had a great time. We were so lucky to have done that.
Do you have any more contact with the fraternity?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I get their emails, but I don't have any contact, and I got enough on my plate that, I like to just see the emails, see what's going on. Maybe there's something happened when they sent out this, the one that I told you about that got me to this point. So.
No, I understand that you have a whole lot of things on your plate, but you're happy to get those emails and those news blasts and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can stay.
Yeah.
And that's nice.
Yeah, I get that. And that's it. So I've had a good life, and I've been doing good. I got great kids and a great wife. And
Happy to hear that.
Yeah. We've been married 53 years. We both say it's the best 26 years of our lives. So
excuse me. So the things that you learned in and TEP as chancellor, as a member, were you able to use those in your accounting firm?
Oh, it's leadership. Yeah, I was a managing partner for 25 years.
Hmm.
Okay, so there's some leadership skills. That was my first leadership conference. I mean, my leadership um, experience. So yeah, definitely. I think that rolled forward into other things that I did. Okay.
No,
And I had
that's
some
great.
problems. I did have problems, okay, in dealing with certain things. And I learned how to overcome them.
That's how you learn is by
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right.
Well, all right. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Well,
Make some
okay.
notes. Um, I think that I can tell you this, most of my male friends, my core 6 to 8 guys are from TEP. Okay. At this point.
And that's a wonderful gift that you gave yourself,
That's
that
right.
you have this.
That's right. So lucky me. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for spending this time with
Thank
me. I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for what you're doing.